Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys we are going to be doing a Q&A response video. Now, I was planning to do this video, oh gosh, weeks ago, but I have been super busy this past month of November. I put the Q&A video up about 3 weeks ago, and I'm just getting around to doing it. I've had weddings, I've had carb trouble, I've been sick for 2 weeks. I've had a lot going on, guys. I'm sorry. I really am. Believe me. But I'm going to get to your questions today. So, I have my handy dandy phone right here. I'm going to go over your questions. And I do apologize I can't put them on the screen. My editing skills have not gotten that good yet. But, the first question we have is from Junior RC. With the recent legacy support for a lot of anime archetypes, I wanted to ask you, how will you make Neo-Spacian support at least make them playable, due to the fact that Jaden is a main anime protagonist? I have no idea what the heck Neo-Spacians need. I know they revolved around contact fusion. They were one of the first contact fusion archetypes, and pretty much Konami took the concept, quote unquote, of Neo-Spacians and of contact fusioning, and they applied it better with Gladiator Beast. Because when Gladiator Beast first came out, they weren't amazing, but after a set or two, when they got all their support, and then they got Heraklinos, and then they got War Chariot, and Gazaris made the deck amazing. When that came out as a super, that is what made that deck good. So what would Neo-Spacians need? I don't know. I always thought of them as the stepchild of contact fusion. I honestly think that with Jaden, they're more concerned with heroes than Neo-Spacians, honestly, because that is what's popular in Jaden's arsenal. Heroes. When you think of Jaden, do you think of Neo-Spacians, or do you think of heroes? That's the problem I think they have. That's the reason why Konami probably won't give them support, but you never know. Konami always throws some random stuff. Next question from Iv. I'm not going to pronounce the name because I don't know how to say it. He has a couple of questions here. First, are you still playing competitively? I mean, I still play at locals. Down here in Richmond, I've been doing that sometimes here and there. I've played at my locals up in Manassas, sometimes here or there. The problem is, I'm so busy making videos for you guys, I'm not able to play competitively. Like, I'm not going to every YCS. I'm not going to every regional because maybe I have stuff to do, that day, or I have things I need to prioritize. But I do keep my hand in the cookie jar, if you know what I mean. I've always got my head to the ground listening for rumors, how to make said deck competitive, what's the top deck, what's going on. So the competitive mindset that I've had for the last 12, 13 years, I guess you could say, of Yu-Gi-Oh playing, more like 12, I guess. I still have that. I still really have that. The competitive playing, though, that has died down because of life in general. I just can't play super competitive as much as I did. Next question. Your favorite Yu-Gi tuber? Well, my favorite used to be Alinthio. Alinthio, yo, 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 yo. My favorite now? Well, let's go over here, the reasons here, okay? I love Team Sam because he gives me quick deck profiles in case I need just a little update in my brain about how this deck functions. And I love Yu-Gi No-No for his skits, Amazing Yu-Gi-Oh! Jesus. I miss Galactic God, and I love Cyber Knight for pack openings, old school pack openings, mind you, and his OCG stuff. And I have to say, at the end of the day, who I love most because of his sexiest European voice ever, it has to be Lithium. Lithium is really my favorite Yu-Gi tuber, I guess you could say right now. Anytime something new comes out, Lithium is right there with the new stuff. His stuff playing, his old competitive decks versus other old competitive decks, I love that. So Lithium would have to be my favorite, honestly. Any Yu-Gi-Oh misfortunes, i.e. unfriending people, fights, etc. in my life? Over Yu-Gi-Oh. I mean, I had a girlfriend that didn't like me because I played Yu-Gi-Oh, but she was a weirdo just to begin with. She had a couple of screws loose, as my friends would tell you. She was very odd, just hot, very attractive woman, but had so many screws loose. This was years ago, probably when I first started the channel. But luckily, that's probably the only thing I've had. Fights over Yu-Gi-Oh cards, things like no. Most people I've known in Yu-Gi-Oh have always been kind and nice to me. You do have your occasional douchebag, but you get the bad apples everywhere as you go. Least favorite character from Duelist Kingdom arc? If you mean like voice-wise, I love Taya. I love you, Taya. But gosh, that voice gets annoying. Love and friendship. I love you, Taya. I really do. But Mai's got you, Pete, in the female department dueling skills. Next question. From Austin Herzig. Awesome name, by the way. I think if I'm pronouncing that right. If there was a way of creating a tournament or format to benefit Tier 2 decks or below, or older school cards, how would you arrange it and how would you work it? So, Tier 2 decks and, I guess you could say, old school decks. So, like, I'm going to break that up into 2 tournaments, actually. There's things I've seen other locals do where they create their own ban lists. I know in Japan they've done this sometimes. And you'll just have like, okay, Wednesday, once a month or once a week, you have Tier 2 day. That means maybe the top 3 or 4 decks that are really good at that format you cannot play, or maybe it's a broken card format back like when 6 cents was legal. Like I know stores that banned 6 cents, but these weren't. You couldn't compete. They wouldn't be like OTS pack stores. Like these would just be your regular stores that could do it. Like it wouldn't be OTS official. They would just do Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments because it would bring a lot of casual people in for their side, and then maybe on the Saturday or Sunday of that weekend, you would have OTS day. So it'd be like one thing they do. If they had an opening in the month, they would just do that. Or I've known stores before to host GOAT formats. I think things of that nature, kind of like what Lithium does, like old school decks, or just, I guess you could say, different formats like GOAT format, 2004 Chaos, just different formats, but you have to make sure that you have the ban list set from that format. And as for Tier 2 decks, that's a lot more easier to do because you could literally have the ban list that's currently now, add on to that if the format is stale, and just have it maybe once or twice a month. Believe me, it brings so much revenue into locals. I've seen it. I really have. It works. So store owners out there, if you want to bring in casual players who will bring money and play, have Tier 2s tournaments maybe once a month or once a week. I'm telling you right now, there's a big market out there for that. Next question from Swaja Burglar. How did you and your girlfriend meet each other? Online. I'm just going to say that we met online actually, and it's been fun. What does Pot of Greed do? Pot of Greed. Now, a friend told me once that if it's a hollow Pot of Greed, you get to draw 2 cards. But I heard a rumor that if it's a non-hollow, you only get to draw 1.5 cards. So if it's a common Pot of Greed, you get to draw 1.5 cards. If it's a hollow Pot of Greed, you get to draw 2 cards. That's just a rumor. I don't know. Next question. What archetype do you think deserves more love? I think Toons needs to come back, or hell, even just a reprint. Toon Kingdom needs a reprint, and Mimicat. I'm surprised they didn't reprint that already, actually, but I don't know where they're going to stick it in. Maybe we'll see that in one of the upcoming packs. Who knows? It's just a random throw-in. This deck I want to see, I mean, literally, Konami's done everything for, like, every archetype I wanted them to, like, just give support to. And the Link monsters they've been giving out, they've been giving good support to Link monsters that I wanted them to give the support to. So I can't complain really what they've been doing. If there's a problem I have is we need, I don't want to say more generic ways to make Link monsters, but some of these old archetypes that were, I guess you could say, exclusive to the anime. So good examples here. Battling Boxers, Heraldic Beast, Utopia deck, Gagagas, Gogos, things like that need support. Not even, maybe just one card, just one card, so they can be updated for the Link era, which, because they haven't gotten support in forever. I know Konami has not always done this necessarily. We see for the more popular things from GX, we see this, We see your Crystal Beast. We see this like in that. But nothing really from the Zexal era have we seen, really. I mean, granted, it was only, 6 years ago? Oh my god, okay, never mind, that's pretty long. But you just haven't seen a lot of support for it necessarily. And granted, those decks can still function under Link format. I've played them. But I'll just be happy with a couple of bones here or there, and maybe a new Gravekeeper support card would be nice too. But tunes do need support. Next question we have. With the update ban list and this year's success around the movie and transitioning towards Lake summoning, what do you think Konami will try to achieve next year with Yu-Gi-Oh? And would you like to see this upcoming year with either new support, maybe a fresh new ban list, or anything personal would you like to happen in the Yu-Gi-Oh community? I want to see Konami act like Konami of Europe, for the European division. I'm still sick, so I got stuff in my nose. I want to see that happen. I just want to see more acknowledgement from Konami about Yu-Gi Tubers, because if they could make a partnership, I'm not even talking about myself, I'm just talking for the brand, for YouTube, just in general. It brings so much to the table for Konami and for the Yu-Gi-Oh community. Konami makes money off partnering with the Yu-Gi-Oh community, but I've heard so many bad stories, because the thing is, like in Konami of Europe, it's one of the reasons why I probably won't go to a YCS. I can never go to a YCS just to film, because it sucks. Like, that was what I would want to do, take my camera, film things, film decks of people, but I can't do that. The problem is, over in Europe, you can go to these special event areas, you get a badge, and you can film in that event area. Over here in the North America, you can't do that. You can't even bring your camera in to film. What the heck? Like, that's why I want Konami of Europe. I want Konami of North America to be more like Konami of Europe. I'm fine with Konami for the most part. They've given me good support. I want to see more older archetype support for more anime exclusive decks. They have been doing that. They have been doing good about that, I will admit. I want to see maybe some Egyptian god support, some Yubel, a Pokapakapu and all those guys. Those archetypes, Nordics even. Just give me a little bone here or there for these anime exclusive archetypes. I would be happy with that. I think people would be appreciative. They'd be like, oh, cool, that's awesome, yeah. But then they have a couple of broken cards in there, for like an anime set, kind of like Dragons of Legend, but not just for, Yugi's era, like the original Dragons of Legend, where it's for everything, like GX, this and that, Zexal. I think there's a lot to be made from that, honestly. That's what I want to see. The ban list, I'm happy with right now. Yeah, people are like, oh, Spirals is still dominating. It's a very diverse format right now compared to what we've been under for the last since February of earlier this year with Zodiacs and then Full Power Spiral. At least it's a lot more diverse now, I feel like. But that's just my opinion. I'm happy. I just want to see more legacy support to build with your decks, because that's what I like to do now on Yu-Gi-Oh! I want to see a pirate archetype. That is one thing I want to see, though. Give me a pirate archetype. I've been talking about this for years. Can you do a video about how you play with your Egyptian God deck? I pretty much give a good description of how I play it in the videos. Next one. I recall seeing you wearing a Virginia Tech sweatshirt. Did you once go to Virginia Tech? I asked because I'm studying there now, and I also would like to know where on campus I could go to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Other than the shop in the University Mall. I know where you're talking about. I've been there before. Which follows mainly on Magic the Gathering. How can I say this? I did not go to Virginia Tech. Some friends of mine went to Virginia Tech, and I'm a Hokie fan of the football team ever since the 90s, when Michael Vick was there in the Sugar Bowl era. And, that was good times. And Frank Beamer and football just in general, VT, I've been always a fan of. And I followed them. So that's how I got the shirt. But I have been down to Virginia Tech a lot. I was down there actually a couple months ago for a wedding in, I think it was April. And I actually know the card store you're talking about. But I don't know anywhere else on campus. I have played Yu-Gi-Oh! In, Blacksburg, but I don't know where to play, actually. But I'll say this, there is probably a place to play. I'm not joking. Somewheres in VT. You just need to get the hook up and then you'll be good. What are your thoughts on Super Mario 64, and have you seen Yu Yu Hakusho? Ooh, Super Mario 64. If you're talking about Nintendo 64, yeah, I did play Mario back then. I haven't played any of the new Mario games though. Like, I've always liked Mario, but never really played it a lot. And as for Yu Yu Hakusho, yes, I have seen Yu Yu Hakusho back when. That's probably one of the shows that actually got me into anime. I love Yu Yu Hakusho though. What do you think about Pendulum Dark Magician deck? Will you try to duel with it? I've tried it. I prefer more the pure variations because that just works better. But you can do it. I've seen people do it and it works. But it's whatever floats your boat, you know? If you could make a Blue Eyes Link monster, ooh, you're asking for a lot. What would you call it? What would its attack and link arrows be? And most importantly, what would the effect be? You could add on, fix the dragon theme decks. Okay, I would say this is what they need to do. They need to come up with a scapegoat tokens that are dragons. So like instead of beast, dragon tokens, like dragon eggs. So something like that. So I can use a token generator type of thing. That would be nice. But I thought about this. Probably it would require one dragon and one normal dragon, or two normal dragons. That way it works with Blue Eyes. But it would have to be, the arrows would have to be, I would say it'd have to have 2 arrows. Just going sideways. We're not going to go none of this 3 arrow stuff. If you want to make it more Blue Eye specific, you could go, it requires 3 normal dragon monsters. And that way it can be like the show. So I have all my 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons on the field. And then I bring out this big little boss monster that's like a fusion variation. So instead of like you have the big fusion, you have a link variation that's like 4,500 attack, has good effects. So you would have pretty much a link monster that's based off the original fusion, and then Neo Ultimate Blue Eyes, which we have now, but in link form. That's what I'm thinking, but it would require 3 normal vanillas. And you could use, you know, you got 6 copies, so you could do that. For generic dragon support, ooh, I bet eventually we're gonna get something, but I don't know how to make that work and not make it too broken off the top of my head. Any good tips for new players, like what structure decks are good, if any, for the new format? Should I buy play sets? I would say, if you're gonna build, you know, like structure decks, build the new one that's coming out. You could either build the dinosaur one if you can find that still. That's very cheap to build. So I would definitely say pick up the dinosaur structure deck if you want to. I would say if you don't want to go that, you can go down, which is, people will hate you for playing it, but it's a good deck. Wait for January for the Counter Fairy structure deck to come out. Look onto YouTube, Counter Fairy decks, see what cards are being played in the OCG, and pick those cards up. That's what I would suggest. Next one. Any chance for a deck focused around the Wicked Gods? I've thought about it, I've played around with the idea, but I'm just probably not going to do it. I've always wanted to do it, but I just have never got around because I don't have copies of the Wicked Gods lying around for some reason, apparently. But yeah, probably not going to happen though, because I can build the Egyptian God deck a lot easier than I can build that deck, or Pokapakapoo and Friends, and you know, everything else. Number 2, what were the first secret rare card you ever opened from a booster pack? Or will your monster memorable, most memorable, Christmas 2000, I think it was, and 3. I pulled a Black Skull Dragon from Metal Raiders, and I pulled from Magic Coolers a Toon Kingdom in one on Christmas Eve, because my grandmother gave me some presents early. And that was awesome. There's a card, every card has a story. I think I talk about that in that video. That was awesome. Master Swag Knight. What if Kaiba played Blue Eyes? What if Exodia just like, oh my gosh. Why is Yugi so bad in the anime, but why is Yugi so good in the anime, but in real life Kaiba's deck is so good? The world may never know. So, I'm going to cut the video off right here, and I'm going to be right back with take number 2. We're going to finish this up here, guys, in a second. Be right back, guys. Alright, so let's continue on now, guys, with the next part. Next question here is, what do you believe was the most game-changing summoning method besides links? Synchros. Synchros, synchros, synchros. You do not know. People have got mad about link monsters. People don't remember how crazy the community got when synchros were announced. how many people just quit Yu-Gi-Oh? How many people just got mad, upset? What the fudge are you doing? Why is there a limit on my extra deck now? Da, 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 da. So many people. That was a game-changing mechanic because it turned the extra deck into a toolbox. That was the most game-changing method. Same thing I have to say. Hands down. Next question from Trepexius. First thing, when do you plan to stream again? Hopefully, when I get good internet service eventually. When that happens, yes, we will be streaming more, but it's a hit or miss because I don't have really good internet all the time, so it's kind of hard to do, you know? So when I do have it available, I do it when I have free time. Next question, what do you think about the current format? I actually love it. It's very diverse. When are you going to make Blue Eyes Chaos Max update? When are you going to do it? And do you think Blue Eyes is going to have a Blue Eyes Link monster? Why don't you make videos talking about what happened last week? I guess you're referring to just like things that happen, like new cards come out and news in Yu-Gi-Oh! And things of that nature. Well, first off, the Chaos Max update, I'm going to do that around Christmas time when I get back to Northern Virginia. Second question, yes, I do believe it's going to be a Link monster eventually. Maybe not right away, but eventually. Heck, we may even see it in the Seto Kaiba box they're giving us in March. Last question. Why don't I do videos about that? People have asked me that question before. The reason for that is because everybody else does it and I just don't care to do that stuff. I'd rather talk about the game, talk about decks, deck building. If people that know me in real life know, A, I love deck building, B, I love dueling, C, I love talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! Just in general, be the anime, how to play better, Yu-Gi-Oh! History, things of that nature. What's currently going on, new cards coming out that won't come to us in 6, 7, 8 months. Yeah, I'll look at it as somebody else's channel like John Moore or whatever and be like, oh, cool, nice, okay, but I gotta wait 8 months. Do my research, what cards do I need to pick up, how to play that deck before it comes out, pick it up, wait for said deck's cards to come out, pick up cards, build deck, profile, there we go. That's how I operate. I don't really care about the news, really, in Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't care, like, oh, YCS in Europe, this is what happened. Alright, cool. I'm okay with that. I love studying the meta. That's fine. But it doesn't affect me because I ain't going to a YCS anytime soon. If I was, yeah, it would affect me, but I'm not. So, that's just me. I no disrespect to my friends in Europe. I love you guys. Next question we have here. Blue Eyes or Dark Magician? Also, how much Dark Magician copies do you think you have? I got about 70 I collect. You don't want to know how many Blue Eyes White Dragons I have. And any person that won't give me their Blue Eyes White Dragon, I have to rip it up. That's just like tradition. Copies of Dark Magician, who cares about Dark Magician? Though, speaking of which, I do have the deck because I'm working on it actually. I do have my Dark Magician deck. Well, Dark Magician Girl deck over here. People don't like it because they say it functions more as Dark Magician than Dark Magician Girl deck. It's a fun deck. You get to bring out Dark Magician. That's all that matters. Dark Magician Girl, that is. But next question here we got. We all know the story on how you chose to name your channel, Seto, and that's really cool. But can you tell us the story on why you chose to become... That's a weird question. Why you chose to be... What did he write? Why you chose... I'm trying to read what his writing is because it's just like, I think he misspelled it. Why you chose to become such a person that focuses... Okay, I'm going to try this... His words are all mashed together at the end here. It's really weird. Why you chose to focus mainly on deck building and not be like other Yu-Gi tubers? I'm curious to know. I think that's what he's trying to say here. It's very hard to tell, actually. Mainly it's because I just saw... when I started, you know, making this channel, the main people that were around back then were Galactic God, People that didn't just talk about the news. Now when I get on YouTube and it's just like Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, it's just like news, 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 Yu-Gi-Oh Market Watch. And no, I don't hate John Moore. It's no flack. I'm just like, like, can we talk about the game? Can we build fun decks about the game? Not just focus on the meta 24/7, man. Like that's all I want to do. Like I don't care about like stuff that's coming out 8 months from now. I don't care about flipping a dime and trying to make a lot of money off Yu-Gi-Oh because it's really not worth it. So even though I like doing market watches and talking about well how you could and how you should invest from my experience, I don't mind doing that. But and the market watches I actually like because I'm like, oh, my cards went up in value. Yay! Nice to know. Good to know. But just that's one of the reasons why my channel is just a little bit different and people seem to like it. I like Yu-Gi-Oh the card game. I like Yu-Gi-Oh the anime. Next, I'm a huge fan of your deck builds. Well, thank you. They really help me out. My question for you, did you ever win a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament? And if you did, how long ago was it? Second question, do you have any advice for me because I am entering a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament next year and your advice would really help me out. The deck I'm planning to use is Dark Magician from Lino Orai. O-R-A-I. Well, I mean, I have done good. Like locals, I've played a lot of locals more over the last couple of years. If you're asking if I topped at a YCS, the answer is no. I actually did get top 64 at YCS Chantilly, I believe it was called. That was back in like 2012. That was like ages ago. That was like chaos format, I think. Regionals I've topped here and there over the course of Yu-Gi-Oh history, I guess you could say. Never outright won the regionals, but I have gotten my top 4s, my top 8s to get my play mats. Gotten top 16, got my invites, if that's what you're asking, yes. So I've only been like a couple times to Yu-Gi-Oh like North America, like where they have it like in Tennessee or Orlando, because so far away, I'm just like, it's too far away for me, I don't care. But yeah, my advice would be just get a good night's sleep, rest up, eat well, try not to be nervous. And the main thing too, don't overthink your plays. Don't, just do what you know best. If you play the deck enough, you know what to do. Look into what's being played in the meta, how to counter it, think of some texts you made could help you. Just things like that. And that's how you succeed. But just enjoy yourself. If it's your first tournament, you're going to have growing pains. Everyone out there can tell you. We all have growing pains. Next question from Float Gaming. If any, what are some other games you spend time playing outside of Yu-Gi-Oh? Total War, but not Total War Warhammer. Just Total War Rome, samurais, Civil War games. Just a lot of like strategy games. A lot. And I play football. I play Madden from time to time a lot. That's mainly what I do. Question 2, have you ever considered doing a fan meet and greet? If I ever go to a YCS, yes, I will. And maybe if this channel gets a little bit bigger. I don't think I'm big enough yet for that. Though a lot of people know me apparently. Last couple questions here, we gotta run off quickly. So, I have been a fan for a while and your Yu-Gi-Oh decks are great, but I have to ask, have you ever played Magic the Gathering, etc.? Also, what is your favorite card art? My favorite is the art of the original Blue Eyes. Honestly, I have to agree with that. I love the Charmers. The guy that who's apparently still works at Konami, who did the Charmer archetype. I love that. But if I have to say, did I play Magic? I actually did. My friends tried to get me into it about 4 or 5 years ago. I played it. I played Pokemon back in the 90s, early 2000s to like 2003 when Yu-Gi-Oh came out. I played a little bit of Magic in that time for about a year and a half, but I never really got into it. Yu-Gi-Oh just appealed to me more, I guess you could say, and that's why I've stuck with it. I've never played another card game since, actually. Besides like your basic stuff, your Uno and your whatnot, you know, things of that nature. Next question, what do you think is your least favorite of XYZ's, pendulums, stuff of that nature? Basically, which one is your least favorite? Can I say links? Links. I'm okay with links. I've learned to live with it. but I still kind of hate it. More than XYZs and everything. Synchros. I learned to love synchros because it made 5Ds was awesome. But yeah, next question. Who's your anime waifu? I know it's totally weebish, but I'm sorry. From Fusion Fireball. Oh. Oh. Well, I'm about to clear my throat here, guys. My throat is, I'm actually getting kind of sick right now. So I'll be right back. We'll do another take of this video and finish up this video here. So give me a couple seconds, guys, and I will be right back with you. I just need to clear my throat. Alright guys, so we're back now with the next part, I guess you could say, of the video here. And the question was, who is Seto Kaiba's anime waifu? Alright, well, Akiza for Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, hands down, Akiza. But besides Yu-Gi-Oh! Related, there's two that stand out from the rest. Ryoko from Tenchi Muyo. If you have ever watched Tenchi Muyo before, old anime, came out in the early 90s, but over here, it's literally one of the first, it's literally the show that got me into anime when I was in my teenage years, early teens. That was Tenchi Muyo. And Ryoko from Tenchi Muyo, who I'm going to try to put a picture up on the screen right now. Ryoko. She's my waifu. My second waifu, I know having two waifus, bad waifu, but it has to be, and people are going to be a little bit shocked from this, Revi from Black Lagoon. Yes, Revi from Black Lagoon. What can I say, guys? I like girls that are independent and are badasses. I'm not into all this, girly stuff. I like girls that can take care of shit, take care of themselves. But gosh damn, it turns me on. Just ask my girlfriend. Next question. Trell Price asks, what are your favorite Link monsters and what archetype is your favorite? Ooh, I'm liking the bullet archetype. That archetype's really good because it just spam out Link monsters so easily. That's literally my favorite Link type, but I do like the World Chalice as well. I've been playing that a lot lately, so I have to do that. Next question we have, what is your favorite deck and why? I've gone over this question a bunch of times before as we finish up this video now, but my favorite decks are number 1, Gravekeepers, number 2, Six Samurai, and number 3, Blue Eyes White Dragon. Those are my 3 favorite decks. Gravekeepers and Six Sams, because I just love the lore behind them, and they're very old archetypes that have been around for a long time and had success throughout the course of Yu-Gi-Oh's history. You always see them pop up here or there. Also, Blue Eyes, because I just love Blue Eyes. Can you blame me? So different variations of Blue Eyes I love to death as well. But those are my 3 favorite decks. But till next time, guys, take care. Have fun dueling. Good luck dueling. You guys all found out who my favorite waifu is now. That may be I may put that in the title, actually. Seto Kaiba reveals who is his favorite waifu. But till next time, guys, take care, everybody, and I'll see you guys next time. Good luck dueling to all of you. Sorry this was a very, very long Q&A. I think we took up about 32 minutes, but I'll see you guys next time. Good luck dueling to all of you. Take care, everybody.